104. I'm enclosing. Here or remain. 105. You can also do now this. I'm turned with you if I, answering no, tiniest yes, so it is last me.
That's one way of reading it. How many other ways could you read it? Paul, are they still seeing my page? Yep.
Should I do it again?
Yeah, you want to read it a different way?
Sure. I'm enclosing. You can also. I'm turned, answering yes, last. Here or remain. Do now this with you, if I, no, tiniest. So it is me.
Love that. Okay. Are we ready, folks? Allie, Amber Rose, Dave, and Jason. Comment, any kind of comment, brief ones. Any comment on this poem, on what Erica did, on the two readings, on the whole dog ear idea. Would love to hear from you. Allie with Amber Rose on deck.
This is going to sound very vague. Because I think I need to stay with the language itself for longer to be more specific. But I love how in both of those readings, at least I'm kind of left, it's different sense that is made. And yet I'm left with a very similar, emotional feeling, which just is so satisfying.
Love that. Thank you. Amber Rose is at a huge disadvantage because she's not able to see the thing I'm holding up. But did you want to speak generally to the project?
Yeah, I want to speak to the project and say that what allows each reading to be new for me is that there's an encounter being staged, and it's a material encounter in that the physical text, the physical pages are sort of kissing each other and meeting each other. In a way that allows the language and how the language then functions in that encounter to always be new.
Thank you so much. Dave, followed by Jason, and then we'll go back to Erica for a thought on this.
Just I guess a general comment. I just like the way it suggests that the poetry is really in our individual interpretations. The source text of a poem could be anywhere in the world, and the poetry is really, what we bring to the table. So it really leverages that idea that it's interactive and that it's us. The poem itself can almost be incidental to what the poetry is.
Very nice. Jason, and then Erica.
Yeah, I think I've asked you this before, but I think it's interesting to think about how many dog ears you have to make to find a dog ear that you like. But for me, it's interesting the way the image plays depending on where it is. I like the idea of it being the image being in a book, a physical book made out of paper that can also be dog-eared. I mean, you could do tear a page out and do an infinite origami and come up with who knows what combination. But this is the most kind of essential move. And the movement from, I can't help but think about the difference, say, to see this as a photograph, to see this within a book, a printed book, and to see this on a screen. I think they all would have very different effects.
Yes.
And that what makes me the most excited about these is the way it activates tactility. I become whichever media I'm looking at the image in, I can't help but become conscious of my body of my fingers, of the permission that this gives us to play, to just play with words and find things that are already there that no one had found before.
Jason, thank you. And thanks to everybody. Erica, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I appreciate everything everybody said. I'm just going to go back to what Ali said, that in a way, I think that, which ties into a question that Jason asked, that I think that there's an emotional tone to some of there's a range, and that they in terms of how I choose them, when Jason asked me, how many do you make, on what basis do you choose them? I think that there's an emotional tone that is part of what helps me discern, and when I say that, I mean to add to a range that I'm sort of collecting, so that it's like a range of emotional tones. But I also think that in terms of I made decisions about how to make this work. I was thinking about, I always saved my place in paperbacks that I read of my own. My father, who was a mechanical engineer, I remember when I was a kid, he died when I was pretty young, but I remember when I was a kid, he told me he always remembered the number of the page he was on. And I always thought about that. Like, he would make a point of just, finishing his, pausing the book and remembering page so he could return to it without any marker at all. So it's kind of interesting, because I think that this is a very different, strategy. And I think that that's behind it a little bit.